guys, I'm Abdullah here from the channel Child's Encyclopedia. So today I'll be doing my Fedora review. The thing is, I didn't update this to Fedora 35 yet. I thought I would do this review before updating it to Fedora 35. We'll be going over many points in this video. I thought I'd make a structured video for once. So we'll be starting with the installation process. I unfortunately do not have any footage of it because I don't have a capture card at home. So yeah, there's that. And then I'll be going through the setup process, which I also do not have footage of because I couldn't install OBS until I finished the whole setup thing because I didn't think of it. Sorry about that. And then we'll be going through the actual usage, and in the fourth part will finally be it will be a surprise. So first, about the installation project. Unfortunately, as I told before, I do not have any footage of this because I do not have a capture card, so I'm just going to tell you my experience with it. Most people think that installing Linux is like really difficult and you have to use the terminal and it's like there's no GUI or anything, graphical user interface. But that was decades ago. Nowadays it's just so easy, and even distributions like Fedora, which are not that mainstream, usually Ubuntu based or Debian based distributions are most mainstream ones. Even a not so mainstream distribution like Fedora can still have a very nice user experience, right down to the installation process. The installation was a very easy process. In fact, I would argue that it's even easier than installing Windows because you don't need to create an account or anything. You just put in the username, password, and that's it. Like that's for your computer use, of course you need one, but it's not like Windows where I need to connect a Microsoft account and everything. That's just annoying. You don't even need to be online during this whole thing. I really like this. I really like the install process. About the setup, mostly I did my setup not through the terminal but through this thing, a neat little utility called software, which lets you, it's kind of in the name, it lets you install software, and this was a very useful tool. This is kind of like proof that if you really hate the terminal, you can just avoid it in Linux. So any software you want to install, it will be here. So let's say I wanted the open source Linux, an alternative to Photoshop that works on Linux. So let's search for GIMP. It will be here. See, I told you, it's here. And it's also there's this discrepancy where the Fedora package, the packages that come from Fedora are a little bit outdated compared to the ones that come from the actual developer's website. So what you do is you should install Flatpak, which is really easy. All you have to do is the Flatpak website has really clear, concise, and easy instructions on how to install it. So it's really easy. And finally, we'll get to the actual using part. First of all, you may be asking, well, what about all my applications? Does Zoom, Discord, does all my favorite text editors work here? Also, we can have asterisks. Zoom actually works fine. It works pretty fine. The only problem is virtual backgrounds are kind of glitched. It doesn't work at all here, which is kind of a problem. And if you think about text editors and all that, yes, there's Atom. You have VS Code. I think I have it. Oh, you have VS Codium. I got VS Codium. So all of those things work, except if you want an IDE like say Visual Studio. Unfortunately, that does not work on Linux. It's mostly a .NET IDE, so you can find alternatives like Mono Develop, but the feature set is just not the same. So that's one thing to keep in mind. If you're a .NET developer, you might have a hard time with Linux. I mean, .NET Core does work, but it doesn't have a GUI with it, so you kind of need to use this framework of it called Mono, which is, yes, it's officially supported by Microsoft, but still. Also, all your basic applications, your Office suite, it's right here, LibreOffice. It works really well with Microsoft Office documents. At least all the documents that I've ever gotten work flawlessly. You just need to install some fonts, which is not that difficult. It's just copying and pasting commands. And then you have a disks utility, you have a characters utility, which is basically a thing which lets you look up the Unicode thing for emojis if you need to use that anywhere. You have a disk user analyzer. You even have the system monitor. You don't need to press Control Delete to get it. You can just get it straight from here. You don't need to it's just much easier than Windows. That's what I'm trying to get the point across. And you have the screenshot utility, which you can even set the delay in seconds, which I haven't seen Windows have this feature. I might have not been using it properly. So this is like the snipping tool in Windows. So if I choose to say take a screenshot, of that part, let's see, it took, and it even respected the delay I gave it. And look at that, it even gives you this whole thing that you can do. The only thing that you can't do, which the snipping tool can, is you can't edit this for you. You edit it later on, but that's fine. It already has enough features in my opinion. Quick save. You can also change the directory, obviously. And then you have window capture, which basically just takes a screenshot of whatever window is there. Unfortunately, I did not have any active windows open, so it did not take a screenshot. Usually, what this thing does is, instead of taking a screenshot of your whole screen, it just takes a screenshot of the active window. Except for the screenshot window, it just disappears during the screenshot, so you're not allowed to actually capture it. And then you have, the whole screen, which is just straightforward. I'm gonna cancel that. And about games, I don't really game that much, so I can't speak about games really that much, but one game I do play a lot and I can speak for very well is Minecraft. I play it a lot. It works great on Linux. It works much better than Windows, might I add. As you can see, the Minecraft launcher works flawlessly if it can just, I'll let it load in the background there. You have Blender. Blender works flawlessly, and okay. Oh yeah. See, it just works perfectly. You have all your articles over here. In fact, if I go to installations and if I click new installation, I can even get the legacy versions of it. Yeah, there you go. I can get alpha versions. Everything works. The whole feature set is here. So yeah, let's close the launcher off for now. And finally, we have tweaks. Yes, this is the thing that lets you change stuff. So if this lets you change your theme and everything. Yeah, see, I just changed it to light theme. I really don't like the light theme. That was a demonstration. I think I'm gonna add Vita Dark. Yeah, I don't know how to pronounce that. So that's actually the experience. The experience was actually really good. I had no problem switching over. All the tools that I used were great, except for maybe a few Adobe tools, but here's the thing, I never did any advanced work in them anyway, so I adjusted to GIMP and Inkscape just fine. So I think you could too, unless you are a very experienced Photoshop or Illustrator user who has spent decades mastering all the macros and everything else, and you just can't switch. I think Linux is the perfect solution for you, especially if you're a developer. Except for that little snag with Visual Studio not working, everything is great for developers on Linux. You have so many really good tools pre-installed, wget, and a package manager. you need to install separate package managers on Windows, and I know that Windows has their own thing called Winget, but it's still a work in progress and you need to install it separately. For Linux, you just have pre-installed. In Fedora's case, that would be DNF. I also got, this is also a really fun thing about Linux. You can customize your terminal with stuff like, ignore the specs, okay, they're not that good. You can customize your terminal by going into your bash.rc file. What I did was I installed neofetch, and at the top of my bash.rc file I put neofetch, and then on the next line I put echo, which is like the print statement in Python, and within the stuff that I was supposed to print I put these lines of text. And so now every time I open the terminal it runs neofetch and then prints that command. So I really like it. It's like my own terminal almost. So yeah, I really like it. So that's all I have to say. And finally, about that surprise that I told you we were going to have in the end. Yeah, that was, I was thinking, since this channel has been a bit, well, out of content lately. If you've noticed, I haven't uploaded Blender videos. I'm really sorry about that. I was thinking of making a tutorial, and unfortunately, every time I sat down to make one, some circumstances happened which just didn't allow me to. So Blender tutorials are coming soon, and I've decided that whenever there are times like these where like I just can't make Blender tutorials, I'll upload Minecraft videos instead, since Minecraft works fine on this computer. I hope you're all okay with that. So that's all I have to say in this video. Thank you very much. If you like this video, please like it and subscribe to the channel.